great talent. I saw him score a hat-trick for the reserves. I've expected more. Maybe on a day like today, he could establish himself with a big goal.
Well, it'd be just like the FA Cup, wouldn't it, if one of these West Ham new boys makes it their day in the Cup. I should just bid a very good morning, in most cases, to our Setanta viewers in Australia who are just joining us now. Manchester United, as you may be aware, are out of the FA Cup. It's been a great day in this competition already. Are Arsenal about to find it difficult at West Ham? David Fairclough joins Martin Fisher for commentary.
Welcome to Upton Park. Over this weekend there have been quite a few spare seats up down the country as the FA Cup third round gets underway, but no such problem here. It is almost packed to the rafters, and a nice handshake before kick-off between the two managers, Gianfranco Zola, who's played in 3 FA Cup finals, and Arsene Wenger, who's taken Arsenal to 5 cup finals down the years, although he hasn't won a trophy since he last lifted the FA Cup in 2005. Arsenal fans everywhere will tell you silverware is long overdue at the Emirates Stadium. Will they begin a long journey to Wembley in this competition here this afternoon, or will West Ham do a Leeds United on them? False start, I wonder if that's an omen. Mark Clattenburg, today's referee. Now we're underway. West Ham on their traditional claret shirts, Arsenal in the chain strip of white with blue shorts. David Fairclough sitting alongside me here. Well, one shock has been a bit of a surprise, 2 would be an absolute staggering situation.
I think so. We saw Arsenal come to Upton Park a few weeks ago, played superb in the first half, looked to be cruising, but West Ham came back, and I think West Ham come into this game heartened by that performance against Arsenal. They know they can score goals against them.
Expect Arsenal to have plenty of possession, expect them to knock it around with great confidence. It's up to West Ham United, David, to get in amongst them and try and close down space as quickly as they can and just make life as difficult for them as Leeds managed to do to Manchester United.
Yeah, very much so. With the midfield of Ramsey and Wilshere, you know, great players, but you would think perhaps they are the targets for West Ham to actually close down. Those 2 lads love to play, very comfortable on the ball, but they'll, you know, maybe find out what the FA Cup is all about today. We get a good, determined effort by West Ham.
Clearance by William Gallas. He's never won this competition. It's the silverware that he did pick up at Chelsea. The FA Cup winners' medal was not amongst them. In steps Matthew Upson. Signed by Arsene Wenger at Arsenal and then sold by the manager some 5 years later. Actually has a Premier League winners' medal though, having played sufficient games in the 2001-2002 season. 13 FA Cup triumphs between them, these 2 clubs. It's the 9th time they've been drawn to face each other. West Ham actually enjoy the upper hand. They've gone through 5 times to Arsenal's 3. There have been a few draws down the years as well. Eduardo caught in possession. Faubert's balance deserted him. Rami in the way as Son tried to release with the through ball. Kovac. Upson for Deprella. Joined the club in the summer from Grasshoppers and is a Switzerland under-19 international. But what a big occasion for him. He's had a sniff of the first team, and here he is on FA Cup third round day playing against one of the biggest clubs in the land. Who was a regular for Arsenal on their way to the semi-finals of the competition last year. You may recall that he had a bit of a nightmare at Wembley in the semi, as Chelsea came back from being 1 down to come through on their way to winning the cup. Winning that one by 2-1. A foul here by Deprella. Wilshere bites the turf. Arsenal get the free kick.
No doubt that he was a little bit late, certainly making an impression in these early minutes, Deprella.
Wilshere, the youngest player on view today, only turned 18 on New Year's Day. One of 5 teenagers on view today. Another opportunity maybe for Arsenal, but West Ham can get it clear. Diamante. Behind Jimenez and behind Faubert as well. Kovac. Deprella. Tompkins. Stanislas. Pushed the arm of Kovac. Amongst the goal scorers in the 2-0 victory over Portsmouth here on St Stephen's Day. The only victory that Zola's side has managed in their last 6 games. They've lost 4 of those and sit just outside the bottom 3, just above Bolton and Hull, courtesy of having a better goal difference. But it is so tight at the foot of the Premier League at the moment. They're just 4 points behind Everton, who are 11th. Nublet wins the corner. See what I mean about his physical resemblance to Carlton Cole. 6'3", Nublet.
He could be vital today, Nublet, with his presence, his stature. He's willing to battle and cause a little bit of a problem getting into the backs of the likes of Gallas and Vermaelen. He could be their good out ball.
In comes the corner. Fabianski with a good punch away. Back in by Berami. And away by Eduardo. Just as we said yesterday, David, about Liverpool's continual struggles against set pieces, you can put Arsenal into that category as well, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps so. Certainly it's all about getting quality in there and seeing what those central defenders are made of. Vermaelen, not the biggest, but he does well aerially. Perhaps sometimes how teams pick up men as they get it when they go into the danger zone.
Here is Vermaelen, who has been a Premier League ever-present this season for Arsenal. Started the season in terrific fashion, scoring plenty of goals, but hasn't scored for over 3 months now. Not that goal scoring is a problem to Arsenal. They are the top scorers in the Premier League with 51 to their name. Ramsey. Won by Son. In steps Berami. With a chance to centre, it's deep. Deprella gets a shout from Green to deal with it, and he does at the cost of Arsenal's first corner. Gallas up from the back, ready to attack this. Weaver swings it in. Wilshere. Faubert. Jimenez looks offside as that ball is played in towards him. Sagna can clear it.
Been a good positive start by West Ham, tight in the midfield areas and showing a keenness to get forward as well. I think Zola will be very happy with the spirited effort.
Last time the sides met at this stage of the competition was in 1989. It finished 2-2 here. West Ham won the replay, 1-0 at Highbury. Here's Nublet looking to get hold and cause problems for Gallas. Vermaelen helps it into touch. Diamante. He's one of those players that's never scared to shoot, the Italian.
Well, he had 3 targets in ahead of him, and it was wise to perhaps try and go for glory at that angle. Did well, West Ham, in getting men forward.
Arsenal coming here full of confidence. They've won their last 3 games. They're unbeaten in their last 6. 16 points from the last 18 available. And having been 11 points behind the leaders Chelsea at the end of November, having been beaten comfortably 3-0 at the Emirates, they now find themselves just 4 points behind with a game in hand. That game in hand is on Wednesday at home against Bolton. You would expect them to be going into next Saturday's game at home to Everton, a game you can see live here on Setanta Sports. Just a point behind Chelsea and ahead of Manchester United in the table. Things looking good for Arsenal at the moment. Sagna gets it back from Wilshere. Goes down by Stanislas. And West Ham get the throw. Sagna debates whether that was the correct decision or not. Half a chance maybe for West Ham to take the throw in quickly and get him behind him, but that chance is gone. Newboy with a flick on.
Well, it was typical of the good work and the good start by West Ham. First, the Prela closing up down that left-hand flank, and then Stanislas as well, just pushing Sagna backwards.
Here's Vermaelen. Ramsey. Through ball looking for Eduardo. Arsenal with 3 in the box at the moment. Just put out by Tompkins. Here's Ramsey. Wilshere. Song. Away from Benami. Good effort. Green down smartly to save. Merida struck that cleanly.
Typical build-up by Arsenal. Like to get a shot in from distance. Certainly no real problem there for Green from Merida. A little bit of a sighter as far as Merida's concerned, I think.
It's a good atmosphere in Upton Park this afternoon. Arsenal fans have travelled in good number. Not 4 to come, just a few stops on the tube. Back in October, Arsenal were 2 up and seemingly cruising to victory before West Ham staged a late recovery to earn a point. Arsenal have won on their 2 previous visits to this stadium prior to that. Here's Sagna. Thinking back to that 1980 final, David, West Ham got past Everton in the semi-final stage. I'm right in saying that Arsenal beat your lot, Liverpool, in a momentous semi-final that went to 3, maybe even 4 games, didn't it?
I played in all those 4 games, or the featured involved 4 games. Scored one of the goals in the first replay. Thought it was going to be the winner, but wasn't to be.
3 successive appearances at Wembley for Arsenal in the FA Cup final. Bellamy steps in, Kovac should have cleared it. Done it a bit too long. Ramsey can't make headway. Nublet is the target. Silvestre. Merida. Eduardo free on that left-hand side. Wilshere. No room to breathe for the youngster at the moment. West Ham almost on his toes as he tried to deliver the cross. He's done the next best thing. It's a second corner for Arsenal.
He hasn't really found any real space yet. Wilshere has been closed down at every opportunity. Deprella done well closing down on this left-hand side, and we've seen Kovac and Bellamy doing a sterling job in the centre, really battling for everything.
It's a small Arsenal side, not that many targets available. It will come here for Son. Took a deflection on its way to goal. It'll be another Arsenal corner.
Well, again, just lots of bodies in the way, giving no real clear sight of goal for Ramsey.
Ramsey has scored 3 times this season, all of them in the Premier League, including one of the 4 that they put past Portsmouth on Wednesday. Merida with this third corner for Arsenal. Away by Nublet. This is Son. Ramsey. Chance. Good block by Faubert. Faubert with the effort. And here's Merida. So far, no lack of effort from West Ham, and they've managed to keep Arsenal at arm's length. Sagna with the throw. Jimenez. Beautifully done. Arsenal on the attack here. It's good recovery by Faubert.
Trying to work a little bit extra now, West Ham. As Arsenal just sort of working their way into the game, and we know how they can stretch defences.
Third corner in the last 3 minutes, this for Arsenal. West Ham again can get it away. This time it's Kovac who clears. Getting that all wrong. Nublet. Now Jimenez. I'm sure that Tompkins really wanted it there, and he's given it straight to Eduardo. Thought about the first timer, and Green's fingertips take it behind.
That's a terrible mistake by Tompkins. I'm sure he didn't want the ball in that position, but really, he makes a real hash of it. He should be better than that, gifting the ball to Vela. Thankfully, it's shot not perhaps the most difficult for Green to keep out.
Tompkins got away with that. But for how long? Arsenal really racking up the corners at the moment. Frank Merida swings it in again, finds the head of Frank Nublet at the near post.
Done a good job, Nublet. Already we've seen him block 3 corners from this Arsenal right-hand side. Big figure, just Arsenal finding it difficult to get past.
Hudson leaving it for Green. Intended for Nublet, dealt with by Vermaelen. His foot was high, but West Ham continue. This is Diamante, loves to drift in on that favoured left foot. Might fall for Stanislas, crowded out, and Arsenal should clear with Silvestre. Eduardo. showed too much of that to Robert Kovac.
And again, Diamanti wants to take the shot on from a tough angle. This time it was a better effort, and West Ham perhaps getting a little bit of good fortune that the ball just bobbling in there in the box there created a moment of anxiety for Arsenal.
Eduardo. Well, he just kept it in. And Eduardo wins the throw. Gallas. Sonia looking to get in behind Stanislas, but pass is too heavy. Another FA Cup tie coming your way later this evening. Tranmere against Wolverhampton Wanderers from Prenton Park. 6:15 kick-off in that one. And then looking further ahead to next weekend, we're with Arsenal again as they take on Everton at the Emirates. Could be the afternoon when Arsenal return to the top of the Premier League tree. This is Wilshere. Eduardo, Ramsey. Nice ball skills, but no end product. Stanislas to clear towards halfway. Nublet. Took a while to get his legs moving in the right direction there, but he's patted into Son. And it's an Arsenal free kick. Sagna well forward, but he can't keep that in. Ramsey. Sagna. Unnecessary foul by Jimenez, and Arsenal quick to get moving swiftly forward. This time it's Wilshere who goes down right on the edge. Behrami the culprit.
An element of frustration around the ground as most of these little decisions now are all going Arsenal's way. Clearly frustrated by that, the home crowd.
Not sure what the referee saw there. It looked to me as though Behrami tried to get out of the way as he looked to close down the Arsenal player. A soft free kick. Arsenal looking to make the most of it. Eduardo over it. Gallas and Vermaelen possible targets, but he might just whip this one in anyway. Yes, he does. It's Tame. West Ham, it's all counter-attack for them. It's Stanislas. Diamanti. Eduardo. Son. Caprella. Look at this. Confidence from the 18-year-old. And wins the free kick from Son. Good yardage by the West Ham fullback.
He started really well, Caprella. He's been sharp into the tackle and now a willingness to get forward. Was quite comfortable with the ball at his feet. Wins a good free kick for West Ham.
Cute how he won it as well, wasn't it? The way he put his right leg in front of Son. Experience to belie his youth. Maybe a first test here for Lucas Fabianski, who has been a spectator for the opening 23-24 minutes. Stanislas and Jimenez, the two players over it. Stanislas seems to have won the debate over ownership rights. Stanislas with a curler. Not quite enough dip.
Well, credit to me, he had the confidence to have a go. Not really the closest effort, though.
Song for Arsenal. Vela. It's a cute ball. Faubert really should have cleared it. Trying to play football inside his own 6-yard box, looking to get away with that.
Well, typical ball by Arsenal inside fullbacks. There in that situation, I think Faubert's thinking that Green is going to come off his line a little bit quicker. He gets caught in no man's land, Green, and all of a sudden, perhaps, you know, they're a bit fortunate maybe to get away with that.
It's not a day when you should be messing about with it there, though, surely.
No, I think it's time to make up your decision very quickly and clear your danger zone as quick as possible.
Army losing out to Wilshere. Nublet picking up the pieces. Nancy unable to gather. Seasons since Arsenal last picked up a piece of silverware. That was this competition back in 2005. Son going over the top here on Behrami. He's going to be, I was going to say he was going to be lucky to escape the yellow card, but he hasn't.
Poor challenge by Son. Clearly second to that ball. And it does go over the top a little bit. And they're the types of challenges really can do some damage. There's presence in there, Son, but there perhaps a little bit unwise. I think to follow through.
Good to see Behrami back on his feet. He's one of the West Ham players that has more than his fair share of injuries. Here's Diamanti, good looking ball in. Fabianski does well to get something on that.
Well, we've seen him now in sort of a similar position to this. 3 times he's gone for the shot. That's the best of the lot so far. Good height though for the keeper.
Stanislas with the corner. Well claimed by the ball. Now it's Arsenal's turn maybe to look at hitting West Ham on the counter, but West Ham have plenty back.
Can be eye-catching, Diamanti. Times he doesn't hold the ball in sometimes enough for me, but certainly shows a great willingness to get shots in on goal. Anytime he's round the box, he's looking for a shot.
He is a big favourite here. He's chipping in with a useful collection of goals, 5 so far, albeit 4 of those have come from the penalty spot. In a rich vein of form at the moment, 3 in his last 4. Stanislas for Nublet. Words of encouragement from Zola to Frank Nublet. Caprara. Song for Arsenal. Here's Ramsey. Nudges it on to Wilshere. Ramsey again. Behrami has got through so much running in this first half, and they need that to continue. Gallas is in there. Marida swings this one deeper. Kovacs to clear. Corner count now up to 7 for the visitors. First time they try it short. Marida teases one in. Green has come a long way for Milan. Couldn't keep the effort down. There is a weakness in Green's game. It is his dealing with crosses, David.
Well, he makes his mind up early enough, but not wise there just to flap at it with one hand. But Marlon will feel perhaps that he should have kept that shot down and at least hit the target.
Couldn't stop scoring at the start of the season, but as I said earlier, 3 months since he last found the back of the net. A lucky escape for Rod Green. Free kick against Nublet here. Mikel Silvestre. Now Eduardo. Song. Stopped by Deprella. West Ham have been beaten 4 times here this season in the Premier League, but 4 teams that you might expect them to lose to: Spurs, Liverpool, Manchester United, maybe Everton, the only one that you wouldn't really have put money on them losing prior to kick-off. Manchester United defeat their heaviest of the season, thumped here 4-0 just under a month ago now. Here's Bedami for West Ham. Deprella. Deprella will step in once more. Again showing us that confidence that he's exhibited on more than one occasion this afternoon. But he's out of position here as Arsenal look to hit West Ham on the counter. It's with Eduardo. Held up by Faubert. Bedami getting goal side, making a real mess of the clearance. Milan's got that wrong. It's Stanislas. Challenged by Song.
Well, they're growing in confidence, West Ham. The player sort of shown a willingness to get forward again at every opportunity. Good work by Kovacs and Barami to cover for him as he went forward. But now he just sends Nublet's coming more into the game, and he's causing the centre-backs of Arsenal a few problems.
Teams that are separated by 13 places and 23 points in the Premier League table. Free kick here against Nublet, who is keen to take on all comers, including the referee, it seems. Wilshere. Ramsey. Vela. Eduardo.
One thing about Arsenal is, though, they continue to do the things that they believe in all through the game, and they can wear the teams down. By
Nublet. Gallas on the stretch. Still some work to do here for Vermaelen. Just needs to calm it down a bit. It's one thing about being competitive, you can overstop the mark though. Faubert forward. Only as far as Song. The competitive approach of West Ham is becoming contagious. He's certainly letting Arsenal know that they're here to battle it out with them for a place in round 4 of the competition. Sagna, Wilshere. Ramsey's touch, Hudson away. Son dispossessed by Jimenez. He needs to move the ball on. It's Kovac, Faubert on the overlap on that right-hand side. Ahead of him, Diamanti. Faubert looking for Nublet.
Well, that's a pity. He knows he should have done better, Faubert. Nice build-up from West Ham, stretched the play. He got a better ball in there for Nublet to go and attack. He got a little bit of good fortune.
Good effort this from West Ham, devoid of so many of their key players, and making life uncomfortable for this Arsenal side, who themselves are short of some of their better-known figures, some of their real quality. But it's Jimenez far side. Faubert well forward, but trapped all the way back by Vela.
An eagerness by Faubert just to get on that ball. Arsenal were sort of forced back into their own areas and really just need to put pressure on Vela. Let Vela off the hook really by giving the foul away.
Nublet. And for Jimenez. Kovac for Diamanti. It's found Stanislas. Jimenez looking for Nublet. That was careless. And maybe a chance here for Stanislas. The ball wouldn't quite sit. It's for Milan first, then Son, who clear for Arsenal. Almost opened up there for the home side. And Wilshere has lost it again. In steps Behrami. Jimenez!
Well, a couple opportunities for West Ham. Wilshere being closed down there, and he gifts the ball to Stanislas. Stanislas probably gets the opportunity to get the shot away earlier. Great work by Kovac and Behrami in the midfield areas. I think they've been superb for West Ham.
They have been magnificent.
There, I think it's there to hit for Stanislas. He just tries to be a little bit too clever. You can't take too much time when you've got the likes of Marlon and Gallas around there.
Wilshere has been made aware of the problems in his play in the last few moments. It's okay to do the fancy stuff in that part of the field, but maybe not when you're heading back towards your own penalty area. It's just picked up the tempo for West Ham. It's Diamanti, surrounded by white shirts, was aware that both Nublet and Stanislas appeared to be in offside positions when he could release it. Nothing wrong with the attitude of West Ham United so far this afternoon. Faubert away. Nublet misjudging the bounce. Still a club shrouded in uncertainty off the field, West Ham United. The doom and gloom merchants are looking at January and saying we will have to sell our star players, the likes of Scott Parker, Matthew Upson, maybe Carlton Cole if he were to get fit. Be more optimistic of the Hammer supporters. Believe stories that there might be new owners at the club before the end of the month, in the shape of David Sullivan and David Gold, who used to be in charge at Birmingham, both West Ham United through and through. Zola just wants some kind of stability behind the scenes. Kovac. Jimenez for Diamante. Nubo was coming back from an offside position.
Arsenal holding a good line. Just the two young lads just eager to get forward. Just got to time their run a little bit better, Stanislas and Nublet.
Back of a good ball. Tompkins caught out. Green not so. Vela testing him at his near post.
You know what Vela's all about. Pace and a willingness to shoot at goal. Green, though, getting his angles right.
Hobson, Berami. Unfortunate step from Kovac. Tompkins helps it on. Ball was moving. Fabianski will have to do it all again. Silvestre. Aaron Ramsey. That's a lovely ball. Vela. Back for Wilshere. This looks promising for Arsenal. Wilshere took the wrong option. Robbed by Upson. The chance is gone.
It's a tremendous ball. It's great cleverness by Arsenal just to keep that attack alive. And West Ham making it very hard for Arsenal to break through.
Arsenal's 8th corner. Moore again swings it in, and again Frank Nublet deals with it. On the corner of that 6-yard box, it has been a familiar story of this first half. Corners cleared easily.
We've seen a great deal of Merida. He had that early shot, but other than that, we've only seen him basically figure in the play when he's been taking corners.
There's a chance here for West Ham, isn't there, David?
Yeah, I think so. I think generally they played well. They probably settled as well as Arsenal have. And maybe they don't have quite the quality of Arsenal, but they've been tigerish in the tackle, and they're gradually getting a little bit of joy going forward.
Merida, Eduardo, Silvestre, bursting his lungs to get up with play far side. It's his cross. Ball spectacularly and effectively by Faubert. Maybe it can be the launch of something for West Ham at the other end. It's Stanislas. Looking left for Nublet, who's got a bit of space here. Can he get the shot away? Johansson stopped easily by Son.
Sign of his inexperience, Nublet. Good play by Stanislas. Held the ball up well, picked out Nublet, but he just showed that sort of not really aware of the pace. Got to get shot away quicker.
Back come Arsenal. Son. Now Sagna. Ramsey. Gallas has got it back for Arsenal. Forward by Ramsey, cleared by Upson. Son covering at the back, with Gallas well forward. Silves. Sagna. It's a foul by Caprella.
He's made that type of challenge a couple of times, and I was just going to say he's probably lucky that he wasn't going to get the yellow card, but I think with hindsight, I think it's the right decision. Referee ultimately making that decision that he did deserve a yellow card.
Can't get away with that. Caprella, yellow card for him. As we enter the last few seconds of the 45 minutes, I don't think there'll be that much out of time. Maybe a minute or so. Here comes the free kick from Merida. Helped on wide by Eduardo. So your thoughts on this first half, David?
Well, good. Certainly West Ham have not been overpowered, and they've held up well, they've battled hard, they've made it very difficult for Arsenal to really have the space and to play the way we know Arsenal can play, and they've really sort of created one or two good opportunities for themselves. They can be very pleased with their first half performance, I think.
One by Nublet, cleared by Gallas. Behrami, flag stays down, and a chance here. Diamanti! West Ham take the lead! It gets better for West Ham. Just as many in the crowd were thinking this is good at 0-0 at half-time. Diamanti improves the mood around the stadium, no end. Sixth goal of the season for the Italian. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0.
Well, they've been the more threatening of both sides in this first half, and probably we were resigning ourselves to the fact that it was going to be 0-0 at half-time. A little bit of good fortune. Arsenal caught napping. Diamanti wasn't offside. I think it's Gallas, is it, that just plays him onside. Nice little through ball. And Diamanti, though he probably didn't hit the shot as hard as he probably should have done, he gets the benefit of a bit of good fortune, because Fabianski really gets a reasonable touch on that. Should have kept that one out, I think, the goalkeeper. But West Ham perhaps deserving the good fortune.
Look at the reaction on the face of Gianfranco Zola. And Diamanti, the man that equalised in the league game here from the penalty spot to get West Ham a precious point, has put West Ham in front in this third round FA Cup tie. Time, it seems, for another corner for Arsenal. Got to get a move on. We've played an extra minute and a bit of added time. The celebration didn't last that long. In comes the 9th Arsenal corner in this first half. Tompkins to clear, and there goes the half-time whistle. And Diamanti, with his 6th of the season, his 4th in the last 5 games, has put West Ham 45 minutes away from the second big FA Cup shock of the day. It's West Ham United 1, Arsenal 0 at the break.
It was considered quite an upset when the Hammers beat Arsenal in the final in 1980. This surely would be just as unlikely a triumph. But maybe Pat O'Brien will agree it's just what this game has needed. Mick McCarthy and Wolves will be the last of the Premier League sides to go into action in this FA Cup third round. Their game at Tranmere kicks off at 6:15, immediately after we've finished at Upton Park on this channel. Next weekend in the Premier League, it's Arsenal again. They host Everton at the Emirates. Will they still be in the FA Cup by then? Manchester United are out, so all focus for the next 6 weeks or so on the Premier League for them. Burnley visit Old Trafford on Saturday, January the 16th, live and exclusive, Setanta Sports 1. It will be the same channel for Liverpool's home league game against Bolton on January the 30th. Manchester United again at home to Portsmouth on February the 6th, again on Setanta Sports 1. Also in February, there's Arsenal-Sunderland on the 20th, and West Ham going to Manchester United on February the 27th. But will West Ham be continuing in the FA Cup longer than Manchester United?
Well, you saw that, you know, by not getting the first goal, you give yourself a problem. You lift the West Ham crowd, you energise that West Ham dressing room. The timing of the goal is unfortunate because one team goes into the half-time interval, but you can change things as a manager on a downer, and the other one gets a lift. But I think it's been an unusual game. There's been quite a high tempo. There's been quite a lot of mistakes. When teams have got to the final third, we've got lots of good positions, but very little quality in terms of making the goalkeeper work. But look at Sylvester there. He's really struggled at left-back. We saw him now, he's at the veteran stage, that when he was at Manchester United, when he was much maligned, it was when he went to centre-back that he had a great spell. I'm not sure you can isolate him in that left-back position. Wilshere will get criticised, but I think he's shown great courage on the ball. I think Wenger, he's been a very, very good player for Arsenal, but they need a player that's going to rescue this game. And you look at this, great little touch from Vela, but what about the finish? I'm disappointed in that.
Well, this is the big disappointment for me. Once again, we watch defenders running out while the opposition are passing the ball through you, which you can't do. You can squeeze when the ball goes backwards, but then you've got to hold your line. And look at Silvestre, Vermaelen, still coming forward while they've got possession. I mean, Silvestre...
It's the wrong side as well, Brian.
He's running forward while they've got possession, which really has given them a golden opportunity. I mean, in fairness, it's been a good game to watch, but it needed a goal, and the goal's livened it up.
But that's basic defending.
Well,
what is he doing on the left-hand side and letting Diamante inside him? It's just scandalous.
Crazy, crazy defending.
How much credit do West Ham deserve? It's not quite a scratch side, but it can't really have played very much together as an 11. This side that Zola's put together today, and they've got better as it's gone on, haven't they? Well,
if you look at Gianluca, the director of football, Nani, he's bringing a lot of players in on the cheap from Italy. One of those has got the goal. You've got Tony Carpenter, all these young players. I've been really impressed with Fabio De Prela, the young Swiss left-back. So there is reason for hope. But they've got to get results. Yeah. Now, they've got to use today as a platform. Next week's a massive game against Wolverhampton
Wanderers. In fairness, you did
Wanderers.
say that before the kick-off today. You know, don't disregard how important a win today could be for West Ham as they try to keep themselves in the Premier League over the next 2-3 months.
Well, we see confidence. We see Leeds United today. Are they a fantastic side? No, but because they're winning games, they're in the top of Division 1, they're confident. And it's the most important commodity regarding performance and getting results in football is confidence. We all want to feel confident.
What about Arsenal? Have there been some... Eduardo, for example, where's he been first half?
But I think when Arsenal play football and don't score goals, everybody asks questions about them. It's that same old problem all the time. When they play football, score goals, everyone thinks that's brilliant, it's fantastic, and it's just the way they play. There isn't this grinding out of games ever with them. It's always really good football, really nice passing, score 3 or 4 goals and they think it's fantastic. It's when they don't score goals, people say, what are they doing? Are they overplaying? Are they not quite good enough?
Well, they're famed for their attacking potential, but it is West Ham who've lifted this cup tie so far, and Arsenal are going to have to find something a little bit special themselves to get back in it. West Ham leading Arsenal at the break at Upton Park. Brian, after your success earlier today with Simon Grayson, we'll now switch you to Arsene Wenger's right hand. How do Arsenal find a way back here?
Well, they have to finish in the final third a little bit better, don't they? Their final pass hasn't been great, or their finish hasn't been quite good enough. As ever, their overall play is decent. And, they look a good counter-attacking side, good passing side, but that final ball hasn't given them the reward that so often it does in games. The other side of the coin is, and again, just if I can change to West Ham, I think if they lose this game now, what a massive defeat that becomes for them. They've got their heads in front. They really need to stay there as well. So I think this second half has taken on a real extra dimension for both teams.
It's hard to look through the Arsenal substitutes and barring maybe Sami Nasri, look at any of them and say that's a game-changing player at this moment. Would that be fair?
I agree, yeah. That you could replicate them and perhaps improve slightly in terms of the midfield areas with their experience.
Diaby scored against Hull, didn't he? Scored a fantastic goal against Hull. He'd be looking at him to come on and give a little bit of forward power, getting into the box. He likes to get into the box. So I don't think it's all lost. I think Arsenal haven't been dreadful. I think that they've got young players out there in Ramsey and Wilshere who I think the more experience they get, they're going to be top players if they stay injury-free. And it's just the way that Arsenal play. And we all react, you know, in a very disappointed way whenever Arsenal don't score. That's just football sometimes. You know,
but I think we all believe they've got to win a trophy soon, don't they?
This is the point, isn't it?
And I think that's where we get to with Arsenal. They're a fantastic
I just
team.
think they're different.
Great mentality, great way of playing football, but everybody is now looking for them to win something for it to be proven to be the right way to go.
The big clubs now are massively in debt.
Yeah.
OK, Arsenal have got this stadium debt and they're trying to run their football club as a business. And I think they should be admired for that. I think there's lots of positives with Arsenal and sooner or later they are going to win a trophy. Remember all the players who got missing here? We're looking for a cutting edge. Van Persie, Arshavin, they're going to give this a cutting edge and I think they should be admired. I mean, they're a very easy club to criticise.
From West Ham's point of view, how do they actually approach the game in this second 45 minutes?
I think the
Do they get
start...
tighter and, as they edge toward the finishing line? Earlier today we saw Leeds, and you suggested at half-time it was so important that Leeds didn't go back into their shells, and they did keep playing second half in their game. Have West Ham got to do the same?
Well, I think what will happen is if you don't get that second goal, the importance of staying ahead as the game creeps up on you inevitably, even though you say you're not going to, you drop deeper and you become more nervous. So West Ham, the next goal is vital. It's a long way back for Arsenal if West Ham get it, but if Arsenal do get the next goal, then you'd fancy them to perhaps go on and win the game because they won't want to replay.
Back to David and Martin.
Welcome back as Alex Song makes his way back onto the pitch, the last of the players to make their way out of the dressing room area. No changes by either manager at the break. That is the situation here as we enter the second half. West Ham United, courtesy of that Diamanti strike in injury time, leading Arsenal by a goal to nil. Remember, Arsenal have never lost a third-round FA Cup tie since Arsene Wenger arrived at the club. Last time they lost was some 14 years ago, when they were beaten away from home in a replay at Sheffield United. Vela finds the head of Upson. Finds Jimenez. His turn. Good distribution. Clattered into by Berami. Stanislas for West Ham across halfway. Nublet wants it played through and gets it. Nublet, will it get better for West Ham? Just under the pressure there of Gallas. Can't find the target.
Well, will do Nublet the world of good. Gallas does well because I think he just cuts off the angle slightly for Nublet, but a reasonable opportunity.
Back come Arsenal, but not for long. Tripped.
West Ham just seem to have made a slight adjustment and seem to leave Nublet up on his own and just pull Diamanti back a little bit, I think, just to give them that little weight of numbers in the midfield area.
Forward by Tompkins. Nublet doing exactly what his manager wanted him to do, which is to get hold of it. And he's got hold of it again here, running away from Song. This is a great run by Nublet. Nublet still going!
Well, he did well, but he chose the wrong option. He just needed to tow it to his left-hand side.
Upson's given it away. Ramsey for Vela. Deep and too deep. Exciting start to the second half at Upton Park. And it's Stanislas in possession. Diamanti, the goal scorer. Beautiful reverse pass. West Ham surging forward for a second here. Stanislas, what a strike!
Well, they've really picked it up to start the second half, West Ham. Arsenal started poor, saw a couple of loose passes, and West Ham has sort of thrived. They picked up on it, and I think there's a feeling in there that they could catch Arsenal a little bit asleep, so to speak. It's a great effort by Stanislas, and a good save by the keeper.
From Zola's angle, that was going in, and it would have gone in, but for Fabianski's touch. Diamanti with the corner. Not the best of clearances. Vela needs to tidy up. Gets it back from Eduardo. Well, for those of us that thought that West Ham might just sit back in this second half and try and hold on to a 1-0, forget it. They're looking to double their lead at the start of this second period. Tompkins across to clear. And again. It's a competition that West Ham supporters have loved down the years. And when they think back to 2 of their 3 successes at Wembley, in 1975 and 1980, they have faced and got the better of Arsenal on their way. Of course, in 1980 it was under the Twin Towers. In 1975 they went to Highbury and won at the quarter-final stage in the mud. 2-0 the score. Alan Taylor got both of them. I think he repeated in both the semi-final and the final. Gallas for Sagna. Wilshere. Now Son. Space here for Merida.
Well, a disappointing first half, Merida. I think he's caught in 2 minds. Seen that earlier opportunity for Nublet. I think Gallas just cuts off his angle a little bit, so he can't go across goal. The effort from Stanislas, well, he hits it really well, and he probably did think that it was in himself. Never mind the manager.
Nublet's got the touch. Started the second half very, very well. He will take some stopping. Diamanti. Wilshere. Now Sagna. Merida. Wilshere. Arsenal at their brilliant best. Vela. Applause from some of the Arsenal fans behind that goal that Merida was nudged over there, but I think it was never likely to be called in their favour.
Well, it's a good ball in by Vela. Just Arsenal don't have that aerial presence really to get on the end of that type of ball. Got to be played in along the ground for Eduardo. No hint of a foul for me.
And the way Merida went to ground as well was not that convincing. I think it's Diamanti that's down here for West Ham. Listening, Zola needs is yet more injuries. Remember, 7 injuries prior to kick-off, and Franco suspended. Collison and Spector have gone down over the weekend. So add all that up together, and West Ham without 10, what you would call regulars in the first-team picture.
In this situation, you've scored at the moment, the opening goal. You'd want to be staying on there, wouldn't you, and be the hero. You don't want to be coming off now in this game, the way that it's set up. Certainly Zola will hope that Diamanti can rub this little injury off and get back out on there.
West Ham fans took to Diamanti as soon as he arrived. You may remember at the start of the season when he did come in, he'd got long flowing locks, almost in dreadlock style, easily recognisable. Then he turned up one afternoon with it shaven off and nobody recognised him for the first hour. His goal separate the sides. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0 at Upton Park. Remember earlier today, Manchester United, victims of a giant killing themselves at home to League One side Leeds United. Eduardo couldn't keep it down, snatched at the chance.
Well, I think he had to, but he had to look to try and hit the ball downwards. A bit rushed by Tompkins to race in ahead and try and steal that one. But Eduardo needs to be hitting it down. Gets the corner because it comes off Upson.
Arsenal's 10th corner, their first of the second half. It's a better looking ball in. Behrami gets a touch. Nublet will find touch far side. Diamanti okay for the time being to continue. But it's one that Zola will keep an eye on. Not much in the way available in terms of experience to Zola on his subs bench. Quick enough to get there ahead of Faubert. Good looking ball here for Son, looking to get the better of Behrami, who again defends magnificently.
Well, that's excellent from Behrami, tracking the run of Song in there, seeing Arsenal now push more bodies forward. It's important that the West Ham midfield players do track the runs. Behrami was superb in following Song into that danger zone.
This would be some achievement if West Ham can keep Arsenal out. Arsenal, remember, have scored 10 times in their last 3, and no side in the Premier League has scored more than them this season. 51, 23 of which have come away from the Emirates. Faubert. Stanislas. By Kovac. Faubert needs to get a spurt on and then repeats the scene. Sagna. Wilshere. Good positioning by Upson. And again. Jimenez gets the better of Son. Silvestre. Son away from Diamanti, but Upson is there again. And Jimenez collects for West Ham. Diamanti. Turning into trouble. Replaying by Behrami. Diamanti. Nice drop of the shoulder. Lovely ball through for Faubert. Nublet at the far post waiting. Well to make something of that. Back for Stanislas. Wilshere for Arsenal. Now Ramsey. Tompkins to clear. This is Silvestre. Vela. And it's a curling effort from Ramsey that never looked like troubling Rob Green.
Faubert feeling the effects of that run forward. It's a great run by Faubert. It does give you a great option with his pace to get down that side. But Nublet doesn't really have quite the same type of pace to really get in there and be a real threat. Just seeing a bit of pressure now. Just that man coming in just to close Ramsey down for a split second. He had a chance to get that shot away comfortably, but just rushed it at the end.
Still struggling to remember a decent save that Rob Green's had to make this afternoon as we approach the hour mark. Here's Diamanti. Diamanti, hassled by Song. It'll come out for Nublet. Turned into a blind alley, but at least retained possession. Faubert. Struck the arm of Silvestre. The flag was up anyway. For offside against Diamanti. Sagna for Arsenal. Wilshere always looks to cut inside from that right-hand position. Song on here for Merida. And he was looking for Vela. Faubert closing his legs at just the right moment. Jimenez, he's got to go left here if he gets his head up. Not a good pass. Not a good pass at all as he looked for Stanislas. A good clearance though by Fabianski. Diamanti. Stanislas will keep it in. West Ham with 2 in the box. Building towards Nublet. Song to clear. The Prela. Tompkins. What was he thinking about? Relieved to get it away.
Time for dwelling on the ball, Tompkins. Make up your mind quick and get the ball down the other end of the field. At the other end of the field, Jimenez really needed to pick out Stanislas quicker than he did. Everybody in the crowd was shouting to pick the run out down the left-hand side. Just held on to it, didn't seem to know that Stanislas was there and available.
It's a situation that we'll revisit shortly. It did look promising for West Ham, and maybe there's something on here. The Prela up from the left back again. It's been a feature of the game, the amount of runs he's produced down that far side, the West Ham left. Merida, led by Tompkins. Wenger thinking of a change as we pass the hour mark. Samir Nasri have the quality to unlock this well-organised West Ham rearguard, but here's Jimenez. Gallas thighs it away to prevent it from piercing that penalty area through to Stanislas. And it's Wilshere for Arsenal. Very open FA Cup tie now. Not as cagey as it was in the first half. Important, vital interception there by Gallas. Song. Stanislas for Kovac. Good football from West Ham. Diamanti. Nublet in behind from Ireland. Needs support far side. Gallas across for Arsenal. So strong, Nublet. And somehow managed to work it for Berami. And the Swiss wins West Ham. Very welcome free kick.
And that's vital. West Ham need to spend a little bit more time down the Arsenal end of the field. Good work from Nublet. Looked like he was tired at the end of the first half. He seems to have got a second breath and started a second. Vital interception there as Jimenez tried to break through just moments earlier.
Chance here for West Ham. Upson is in the box. Too deep for him. Fabianski looks to release Arsenal swiftly. Merida got his feet wrong and then tries to claim a free kick. How much energy has Berami got left in his tank? He's covered, as they say, every inch of grass this afternoon, and still work for him and West Ham to do if they are to get over that finishing line and claim a place in round 4. Prela. Stanislas. Jimenez. It's a good run from Jimenez. Not sure what to do with it now. Stanislas tries his luck. Vela for Arsenal. End-to-end stuff. No end product from either side at the moment, though, in the penalty areas. Gallas. Wilshere, the 18-year-old. Sagna, held up by Deprella. Fairly in the eyes of the assistant referee, despite protestations from the Arsenal fans. That will be a free kick.
Quite a little breathing space for West Ham now. Find themselves a little bit under pressure there, so this just gives them a chance to relieve that bit of pressure. Slow things down a touch.
Well, Arsene Wenger has seen enough. Marida, one of two Arsenal players being withdrawn. Abou Diaby and Samir Nasri coming on. Wilshere, the other who makes way. It hasn't been a day for the kids of the Emirates. It's time to turn for the more experienced campaigners, Diaby and Nasri, as Arsenal go seeking an equaliser from somewhere.
Probably the most ineffective performance I've seen yet from Jack Wilshere. Made no impact at all. Really found it difficult to make any headway down that right-hand side. It's probably all credit to Deprella, who's closed him down at every opportunity.
Now it's just got a little bit tougher for West Ham. No doubting the quality of Nasri and Diaby. And fresh legs as well. New impetus about this Arsenal team. Nasri immediately involved. Now it's Diaby's turn. Lucky ricochet falls Arsenal's way, but West Ham quick to close them down. It's only as far as Sagna to turn it back in.
A rare misplaced pass by Kovac creates this opportunity. For a moment you're sort of on your toes and you just wonder whether or not they're going to sort of shoot themselves in the foot, but they get away with it, West Ham.
Stanislas will put pressure on Fabianski. Now Diaby. This is Vela. Diaby sidesteps a half-hearted challenge from Diamanti. And ball against Diaby. But they've made an immediate impact messes, Diaby and Nasri.
Very much so, Diaby getting in there, getting in amongst the ball straight away, which is what you want to see from a substitute. But with his presence and his recent run of form, you would expect him to make an impact.
Such a long time, this trophy belonged to Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. Once in 1998, 2002, 2003 and 2005. Wenger thought they were on their way back to Wembley last season. Won up in the semi-final against Chelsea before being pegged back and eventually beaten. This is Son. Diamanti. Comes through the challenge of Diaby, but shrugged off it. Vela. Son. Sagna breaking to his right. This is Nasri. Held up by Upson. Son. Oh, that's a great ball. Sagna, three-weight far post. Song is in there too. It's Upson who powers it away.
Just need a little bit of rest by West Ham, you sense. Diamanti was a bit shy to play the ball ahead of him to pick out Nouble, knowing perhaps that he lacks a little bit of pace, but I think there'd be nothing wrong with West Ham throwing one or two balls into the corners to relieve a little bit of pressure.
Sagna. Good work by the Prada. Putting himself in glory on his West Ham United debut, the 18-year-old. Still with me on the corner count, 11 to Arsenal now. Tompkins gets to it first for West Ham, back in by Sagna, away again by Behrami. West Ham just hanging on in there at the moment, David.
Yeah, I think so. Just Arsenal just sort of impacting themselves a little bit more. They're just squashing the play, putting West Ham very much on the back foot. West Ham need to find a way of just releasing some of that pressure.
Sylvestre. Diaby. So lucky to get it back. Nubel is down in the Arsenal half. Maybe a touch of crack for him.
I think it is tiredness with Nubel. So there were signs of it in the first half, as I said. Perhaps it just did look like he lost a little bit of that sort of little energy that he started off with. But the second half, he's sort of really put a shift in. Moving off to the right and to the left, trying to occupy the back line of Arsenal almost single-handedly.
Well, he looks very heavy-legged as he staggers almost towards the touchline. Arsene Wenger seems to be saying to the official there he's not injured. Shouldn't be putting the ball out of play. Shouldn't be stopping play for that. It's his first ever start for his club. Frank Nubel needs to put in a little bit more for West Ham. 20 minutes remain. Zola just trying to encourage the 18-year-old. Give me another 5, give me another 10 if you can. Get me closer towards that finishing line. Robbed by Jimenez. Eduardo. Sylvestre. Song well forward. Diaby breaking to his left. Here is Diaby. Fabulous save by Green. Song. Green there again. 2 wonder stops by Rob Green.
That's a tremendous link play between Song and Diaby. Power of those two really combining well. And Green does well because he really gets off his line and smothers that shot, and then he has to react again. So many West Ham bodies just working hard to get in behind the ball. Desperation in the West Ham back line.
Green injured in the collision. Well, it hasn't been that tested this afternoon, Rob Green. Well protected by the back four and the midfield too, but at his very best here. Might have actually been injured by his own player who clattered into him after the initial save. Gobert.
And Arsenal might have sort of claims that Diaby needed to lift the ball a little bit higher, but give Golan some credit.
Now's his corner. Green immediately involved. Confident take that will just relax his manager. West Ham just can't relieve the pressure at the minute. Stanislas for Kovac. Diamanti. Song. Vela. Tussling with Diamanti, who wants a bit more. He's about his size. Not so wise to take on Sylvestre, maybe.
Something and nothing. Really don't want to lose that discipline. Certainly no need for Diamanti to get too involved. West Ham can't afford to lose somebody like him.
Mexico against Italy. Tempers fraying.
At this stage, discipline is vital, and they have to remain disciplined and organised.
Nasri with a resultant free kick. Helped on, and the bounce favours West Ham as Eduardo couldn't quite stretch to touch it on.
With the threat of Diaby in there, West Ham really got to be prepared to go and challenge for every high ball.
It's nearly a month since Arsenal last failed to score. It was in their final Champions League group game against Olympiacos. And Arsenal weren't that bothered. They'd already won the group, already safely through. Today they are bothered. A shade over 15 minutes away from going out of the FA Cup at the first hurdle. Title race might be back on track, but the FA Cup dream could be finishing before it started. Song. Eduardo for Diaby. Franz Faubert. Jimenez. Now how bold are West Ham here? Nobody to pass it to. Back it is for Diamanti. All the West Ham United players look dead on their feet. De Prella coming through the challenge of Sagna. De Prella, what a run this is! Is there an end product? Muscled out of it by Vermaelen, reluctant to have a strike at goal there.
He just couldn't get it on his left foot to get the shot away.
And he's out of position as Arsenal push forward themselves. It's Carlos Vela. Diaby. Song. Vela running into Tompkins. Ramsey. Space far side for Sagna, but I'm not sure he'll keep that in. He's done ever so well to do precisely that. What's the cross like? Near post towards Eduardo. And what was that from Nasri? Did he just lose his footing as he attempted to hit that?
Well, you expect better from Arsenal players. All very good technically, and that's a good opportunity, isn't it? Now, whether or not Stanislas perhaps has made a little bit of a connection with Nasri, hard to tell.
Stanislas. Diamanti moving to his right-hand side. West Ham have committed 4 players forward here.
West Ham just perhaps delay in playing the ball out to Diamanti. Stanislas, I don't know whether or not he's trying to slow things down and win a free kick. Just make your mind up. Keep the ball moving. In their case, make sure he's got a claret shirt on.
West Ham getting ready to make their first change. Freddie Sears has only just come back from a loan spell with Crystal Palace. Waits on the touchline as Arsenal probe again. Alex Song. Vela. How congested is that penalty area? Chance, goal! Well put away by Ramsey. And Arsenal level with 12 minutes to go at Upton Park.
Well, I think you have to say it was coming. The pressure was perhaps beginning to tell on West Ham. They were being pushed back, spending far too much time on the edge of their own penalty area. And there's nothing clever about it. It's just sheer force of numbers, just getting the ball in there amongst the bodies, just try and hope that it falls your way. And then when it just falls into Ramsey's path, fairly comfortable finish. They were claimed for offside. I don't think really they were that strong. more in desperation than anything else.
Relief for Arsene Wenger and all who hold Arsenal dear. The 19-year-old Aaron Ramsey, with his 4th of the season, gets Arsenal out of jail. And the visitors have the impetus now, David. Just wonder if they'll now go on and win this tie.
Yeah, I think so. West Ham do need some energy up front. They need to sort of get the ball in the Arsenal half. Far too longer periods spending just defending, backs against the wall. Nublet perhaps is dead on his feet. And Sears had to come on.
Sears on, Nublet off. Nublet had run himself into the ground.
In truth, really, the substitution might have come 5 or 10 minutes ago, really, because they have needed to sort of have more of an outball.
Left in this FA Cup 3rd round tie. West Ham 1, Arsenal 1. Nasri for the goal scorer Ramsey. Song. Upson to clear. Derby was caught by Jimenez. The foot was ever so high. Jimenez quick to apologise. I'll take this opportunity to remind you of the Premier League football coming your way later this month on Setanta Sports. We have Manchester United on Burnley, actually on January the 16th rather than the 30th. That's on Setanta Sports 1, and that's the game that's on the 30th. Liverpool against Bolton. As the Premier League title race continues. Haven't seen the yellow card brandished for Jimenez here. If he hasn't been yellow carded for that, David, he's a very lucky man. Yeah, I think very fortunate. That's a very solid blow. You can hear the impact by Jimenez. Sometimes sort of high feet just sort of brush into players, but that one was fairly solid from Jimenez. Derby really felt that one. You can see where Jimenez made contact. Here's the goal again. That's what you've got to do in these situations, just scrap and hope that maybe the ball is going to fall your way. So often you see Arsenal just sort of creating opportunities with very clever play, but that one was just sheer weight of numbers getting forward. Son. Arsenal certainly sensing now they can finish this on the day. And there's the header, and there's the goal! Green beaten by Eduardo! And 2 goals in 4 minutes. Arsenal have turned an exit into progression in the FA Cup.
That's what the great sides are capable of doing. Keep doing what they're good at. Arsenal don't change their philosophy. Just quality all the time. Great ball in from Vela. He's just given that opportunity to get the cross in. And Eduardo really shouldn't get such a clean contact. But it's a perfect header. Absolutely spot on. It hits the sweet spot on his forehead, and there's no stopping it. Perfectly placed. Green just diving in vain.
One of the smallest players on the pitch, Eduardo, gets the better of Upson, usually so commanding in the air. Couldn't have placed it better, and the afternoon has got even better for Arsene Wenger. And West Ham, David, have just run out of gas, haven't they? Arsenal have finally found some of their quality, and the introduction of the quality of Nasri and Diaby has made a big difference.
Very much so. The injection of that power of Diaby, very much key, I think, in the turnaround in the game. Not seeing so much of an impact from Nasri, but certainly, you know, ultimately quality tells, and Arsenal have bags of it.
Eduardo with his third goal in the last 4 games. And West Ham looking now like a spent force. Such a brave battle. Had they doubled their lead with those opportunities for Nublet and Stanislas at the start of this second half, it could have been a different story. But Arsenal, slowly but surely, have ground them down, and now it is they who are 6 minutes away from a place in the 4th round draw. But let's not forget that in the league meeting between these sides back in October, West Ham managed to get a late equaliser to draw 2-2. Can they repeat that? Not straight away they can't. Upson forced to concede another corner. Might reach Song. It will reach Song. Song!
Did well, Song, to get such good control, dig it out of his feet as well, get the shot away, perhaps lead him back a touch. Really question marks will be asked about the goal, whether or not Upson should have been a little bit tighter to Eduardo and just sort of easing him away from the goal. It was a great header by Eduardo.
Upson underneath it. First the bouncing ball is Ramsey. Nasri. Now Sylvestre. Vela. Robbed by Faubert. Arsenal get the throw.
We've just spent so much time now defending West Ham. I don't think they know what to do to try and now exert some more pressure on Arsenal to fight back.
Diaby spotting the pass, Vela delivering. Hudson prevents Eduardo from getting his second and Arsenal's third.
I don't know whether this ball actually came off Eduardo. Actually, it's a good challenge. No. Whether or not Hudson needs to play it onto Eduardo there.
His corner. Headed just over this time by Eduardo.
Well, Faubert this time to blame. The ball falls in that danger zone. Needs to have a challenge. Too easy for Eduardo again to get the header in on goal.
Second change for West Ham. It's Junior Stanislas who's making way. Like Nublet. Struggling with cramp right now. Anthony Edgar, the man that's come on, who is a cousin of Jermaine Defoe. And like Defoe, has spent a bit of time on loan at Bournemouth. West Ham will hope that, like his cousin, he's got the goal-scoring touch and he finds it swiftly. Not much time left now for West Ham United. Faubert beat to it by Vela. Ramsey trying to pocket his way through. It's Vela and it's off the line.
Good defensive play by Deprella to clear that ball off the line.
Song. Kovac can't clear, it's Nasri. Last West Ham have got the ball.
well worked by Arsenal. It looked to have really opened up. And Vela thinks he scored. Good clearance by Deprel, just the awareness to get in behind his goalkeeper helped him out.
Into the last minute we go. West Ham just can't get the ball. And they do get it on the few occasions, they certainly can't keep it. It's been a very awkward third round tie for Arsenal, but they look to have done enough to make it safely through to round 4 yet again. Looking good on 3 fronts still. Vela hoping to fashion another goal for Arsenal. Green did just enough to keep it in. And now West Ham have got to get bodies forward. Diamanti. Minutes of additional time to come. Plenty of time for West Ham, but I think their legs went 20 minutes ago, and 5 minutes time is more likely to add to their misery. Arsenal looks so fresh.
Only in the last 10 minutes or so that we've seen this game sort of stretched out slightly. It's been very, very tight, eagerly fought, but now lots of space all around, and Arsenal in this situation hold the ball better than most.
West Ham get the free kick. It's going to be long from Green. Upson and Tompkins charging into the penalty area. Headed away by Vermaelen. And now West Ham look vulnerable. Arsenal can use this right. Vela for Silvestre. Flag is up. Eduardo was offside. Giving it away again. Nasri. Ramsey. Good stop by Green. Could have had a second, and that certainly would have settled the issue.
Well, it's tiredness now for West Ham, both in the physical sense and in concentration terms. Just gifting the ball back, allowing Arsenal just to maintain that pressure.
Nasri. Upson across. Handball by Diaby, but referee Clattenburg was very close and didn't spot anything wrong. Eduardo. That's a foul. Heavy challenge. Diamanti's just been losing his patience in the last 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree. He does have that in his makeup, doesn't he? When things perhaps not going his way. Sort of that petulance about him. You just sense now that that's West Ham's opportunity gone.
In the grand scheme of things, David, given the fact that this season looks like being a real relegation battle for West Ham United, they've already got a huge casualty list, so many players out through injury. Might be the best thing that they go out of this competition quickly.
Yeah, perhaps so. I think they need to concentrate and focus and stay in the Premier League.
It's Vermaelen. Struck the wall. Faubert will endeavour to keep it in. Having said that, what a fillip it would have been if they'd have been able to get the better of this Arsenal team on their own patch. Still there is time. It's Anthony Edgar for Freddie Sears, the other sub. It's his first touch since he came on. He's been on the pitch for 15 minutes. Sears again. Helps it across. Diamante was on his heels and Arsenal can get it away. Done. It's a foul, but I think referee Clattenburg felt that he went to ground far too easily. But I saw a nudge in the small of his back. 30 seconds left. West Ham have lost it again. Arsenal, who looked like they might be toppling out at the third round stage for the first time since 1996, have safely negotiated this awkward third round tie. Premier League title bid is back on track. Win against Bolton on Wednesday, and they're just a point behind the leaders Chelsea. Champions League knockout stage awaits against Porto in February. Arsenal look good on three fronts now. West Ham United battled bravely, but couldn't quite last the distance. Eduardo getting the winner after Ramsey had found the back of the net to equalise Diamante's first half strike. At Upton Park, it's Arsenal who go through. West Ham 1, Arsenal 2.
And Arsenal will find out shortly who they'll meet in the fourth round. We'll bring you the news of the draw. We'll also be hearing from Sir Alex Ferguson after Manchester United's shock exit before we go off air. But still one third round tie to kick off. We go next to Prenton Park. Tranmere Rovers are all set to meet Wolverhampton Wanderers.